Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel for all my returning family and for my new fam. Hey, it is so nice to meet you and thanks for joining the fam. But I wanted to talk about something today that was very important and just very heavy on my heart, in a conversation that I recently had with my mom about how hard it is to be a parent. So I recently have seen so much stuff on social media, and even like people that haven't had children that I know, and even like I've seen a lot of it, especially on TikTok, of like people saying they want to be parents. So that like Carisha, when she's like real bad, and they're talking about like how bad they want to be a mom or a dad. And I don't think that people understand how hard it is being a parent. So let's break this down. I think on social media, and a lot of people have told us, they're like, oh my gosh, like Nala is so cute. Oh my gosh, she's just so cute. She's so funny. Like y'all always have her dressed so cute. And while that is true, and thank you to everybody that has shown her love, she is definitely my everything. She's my twin, as y'all know. Literally, with personality traits though, some from me, some from Liv, but she looks just like me. I've only ever had one person say she doesn't. But wow, babies are so cute, and they're so huggable and kissable, and they're just so cute, and you just want to smell them and love them. They are a handful. So Nala was turned 2.5 back in September. Her birthday's in March, so she's almost 3. And I won't say we experienced terrible twos, because I don't think like kids are terrible, and I just don't like that phrase. But I will say that we are in this stage where she is learning to listen. She's learning her emotions and how to navigate them, how she feels. She's telling us. And Nala is not a shy kid. She is like very, what you see, what you get. If you ask her a question, she's gonna answer it. She just is no hold bars. Like, she is very truthful, very honest. That is that Aries side of her. And I heard that like Aries and Sagittarius are like besties. So hello, literally, like, and you ask her, who's your best friend? She'll say like, my mommy. Like, you're my, or when she sees me sometimes, y'all, this is the cutest thing. She'd be like, hey best friend. I just love it so much. She just, you can see how happy she makes me talking about it. But on the other hand, it is a lot that I don't think that people realize until after they've had a kid. And for women, you don't realize, like, it's all cute when you're getting like big and pregnant, you're eating whatever you want, like you're just enjoying your pregnancy. But then it's the 4th trimester, as they call it, that postpartum, that sometimes can last 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Like, some people have it. It is a very wide spectrum. And the body that you once had, you don't have anymore. Your body is never the same after kids, unless you have surgery. But even then, it's still not the same, because you had to have surgery. Your body's never the same. I don't care what anybody says. As a woman, your mind is never the same as a parent, period, man or woman, because you're always now, like, your child is in the forefront of your mind. So everything that you do, you should, is your child. Like, if I do this, how's that gonna affect my child? If I don't take this job, how would that affect my child? You're always then, as well, it's income, because now you're like, I have another mouth to feed. Because, you know, yourself, you can go get some ramen, some beanie weenies, some Olivia eats Vienna sausages, and I make fun of her about it, but she just loves them as a snack. I don't know, like, put in the comments below, do y'all eat Viennas? Because I do not. But you're always worried about now, like, now you can't feed your kid any and everything, because they need to have a balanced meal. So, you know, fruits, vegetables, you know, meats, protein, like things for their system that they need. And I think that people just see people with beautiful children. And although Nala, for the most part, like 90, anywhere from 95 to 97%, she is a like ideal child. Like, when I tell y'all, since she was born, she slept, the first 2 weeks were a little rough for her sleeping schedule, but we slept trained her. And since she was like 3 weeks old, she has slept through the night. She has girl will get her sleep in anywhere. Like, you'll turn, like, she be up full throttle energy and you turn and she is asleep. Like, she has no problem. If she's tired, she will go to sleep. Like, she loves her rest. She sleeps all through the night now. Like, she's a great kid. Like, if you ask her something, she will answer it. But there are those other 3 to 5% where she's throwing tantrums. She has once fallen out on the floor. We were on vacation in Orlando. We were at the Container Store, and I told her she couldn't have something, and she like fell out on the floor. That's the only time she's ever done that. But at home she'll do it, but very, very rarely now. But throwing tantrums, you know, getting upset and angry, because as a kid, she's a toddler, they are still learning how to process and communicate their feelings and emotions. So, you know, kind of raising their voice, yelling, you know, hitting. Sometimes she will hit. Sometimes she will pull hair. She bites, but not like a malicious bite now. She's actually like playing. She used to like bite us. Never bit anybody at school, but she would like bite us. But sometimes. But she now be playing. Because I play back with her like that. And Olivia's like, you can't do that because then you're teaching her the wrong thing. So I have tried to stop, but there'll be times where she does it with me and I do it back. That's just me being very real and honest. But just getting upset, like, you have to learn. And if you like okay, prime example, y'all, it was either like yesterday or the day before that, and I told her not to do something, and she is at the point where of course they're testing your limits. And so I told her not to do something. She did it anyway. I took whatever it was as a punishment. And if y'all know, we're gentle parenting. And I held her thigh. And like my entire body was so upset. And I could feel myself getting ready to pop her on the legs. But I was like, do not. So like I just had her thigh and I had to like close my eyes and count to 5. And then I just let her thigh go. But like I didn't hold it to where it was gonna make a, because y'all know Nala is lighter skin, so any little thing you will see on her. So I didn't hold it to where like you could see the print or nothing. I just held it to where like, you know, she couldn't really move. But it wasn't like I said, it was a firm grip, but not to where it was gonna hurt her. And I think when she now knows when I say, hey, mommy is using her stern voice and I'm not playing right now. Or if I just look at her and there's almost no emotion in my face, or I say I'm not kidding, she knows like to chill out because I'm about to get very upset. And when she saw that and I was just holding her thigh, she immediately calmed down and she was like, mommy, I'm sorry. And she was like, can we kids make better? And we talked about it. So I think that people sometimes don't realize those things until they get to certain ages, and then people are like, oh my gosh, being a parent is really hard. Yes, being a parent is very, very hard. It is the best job title I have above everything else. It is the best. She is the light of my life, and I think I was like born to be a mom. I truly believe that. Like, there's some people that are like, I was born to be a star, born to be a doctor. I literally think I was put on this earth to be a mom. I love it, and I'm like obsessed in the best way with my kid. But there are things that people do not tell you when you are about to start a family, that the balances of whatever dynamic, if you're husband and wife, wife and wife, husband and husband, whatever, if you have a 2-parent household, that one person might be out of the house more than the other person, that income wise, like, okay, let's say both of y'all have corporate jobs. Do you want your kid to be at daycare from the time they open, which our daycare is open from like 6 and they close at 6. So is your child going to be a daycare baby, is what they call them at our school, to where they're there from open to close. For us, that's a major problem, because I don't think that that's fair for a child to have to be at work or at daycare for 12 hours. But the reality is that you're trying to provide a lifestyle for your kids, and so you have to work, and sometimes that is the only option that you have. So I get that, but for us, that's not what we want. So Nala goes to school from 8 o'clock until 4, but we're inching to the 3:30, and then we'll inch to 3 o'clock. I don't want her at school all day. That's just not our preference, but we understand that there's a lot of parents that that's their only option. Your job. If you get let go from your job, how are you going to provide for your kid? If you are a single parent, what do you do if you get let go from your job? A lot of things that I see, like this past weekend, I was able to go to the Millennium Tour and see like my childhood in concert. And luckily, her godfather gave us free tickets, so shout out to you. We love you so much. And my best friend watched her. Put her in the bed. I had already like bathed her and everything like that. She had dinner. They played for a little bit, and then she put her in the bed and watched her on the monitor, and house sat for us and just kept an eye on her, which we are so thankful for. I love you too. Thank you. But everybody doesn't have that. So let's say you're in a city by yourself, or in a city with no family, but y'all are trying to have a date night as parents, or you just want to have like a night out to yourself to relax, but you don't have anybody. And it is very hard to trust people nowadays with your kids, because people are sickos and they're crazy. And so then that comes into play of childcare. Or let's say you're living check to check, like most of us are, you know. You don't really have it in the budget to get a babysitter to go out on the weekends or go anywhere to get time for yourself. So then you're overstressed, you're overworked, you're tired, you're irritable, which then translates to your kids. And so I think that job positions, Olivia and I have had to deal with this of, if many of you know, I quit my corporate job back in April of 2021, and I became a full-time entrepreneur. So we have experienced like the shift in careers of like, okay, we had to sit down and discuss like, what is the type of lifestyle do we want for our kid? Like, are field trips important? Is being at the school important? Like, is being hands-on important or no? And for us, it was her not being in school for an extended period of time, for me being able to have flexibility, to be able to have access. If I need to get to her, I can get to her quickly without a problem, without a boss yapping and, you know, all that in my ear, and the going through the ranks to try and get to my kid. Like, if I need to go, I need to go. And so my mental health from my last job affected me greatly, which is why I left. And having an entrepreneurship, I made my own schedule. And so many times I was so grateful, because when she would get sick, they call you, hey, you have to be there within 2 hours. You have to pick up your kid. I was able to get to her quickly if something happened. I got up there. I was able to, like I said, make her schedule from 8 to 4, and we're about to inch it up a little bit. And so that flexibility was great. But what came with that was my salary was no more. So I had to replace that and jump high into gear with my content creation. And so at some points in starting a business and you're less than a year old, you don't make 6 figures like that. And so some months it was hard. Some months we had to rely on her income, or we had to get family help or whatever, because starting a business is very hard and all of your money is just going to all these different places. But it wound up leveling out, and so I am very, very, very grateful. But being a parent is more than just being like providing money and protecting them, because you have to provide time. Time is so important, because I know, like, when I was growing up, like, your parents, they gave you a roof over your head, like there was food in the fridge, but like your parents are always at work. And that was one thing for my parents. As much as I appreciate them and all that they have done for us, they served our country because they were both in the U.S. Army. There was not a lot of time with them. It was really only on the weekends, and sometimes even then, if they had stuff with their soldiers going on, we had to go with them. And like, weekends is what we look forward to. But I wanted to make sure that a nanny is not putting my child to bed, and there's no shame or shade to anybody that does. But for us, I wanted to make sure that we are putting our daughter to bed, that we are making her dinners, that we are like hands-on. That was very, very, very important to me. And in anything that I do, Nala has gotten to the point now, she wanted Olivia, she was just a mama's girl since, I think, even in my womb, because Olivia talked to her all the time, but especially when she was born, she just wanted her mom. Mama. And as she's gotten older, because Olivia works so much, 99% of the time, I am with her. Like, I'm with her every single day. There's not a time, unless I'm like on a trip or something. I think since she's been born, my first time going away from her overnight was when we went to the Kehlani concert. back in August. I was away from her for one night, and it was, as much as I was so happy to see Kaylani, I was so sad because I was away from my baby girl. Like, I was not putting her in bed and tucking her in. And even like on the phone, she just kept saying like, mommy, where are you? Where are you? Because she's not used to me being away from her. And so we have done, oh, and then, I'm sorry, I told a lie. And when we went to Baton Rouge for a conference for a possible industry that Olivia was going to go on, we left her with her godmother and her sister overnight for one night, and that was unbearable, where she was away from both of us. When I went to the concert with my sister, she was with Olivia, so she was fine, but she's not used to me. So I've been away from her twice. She's not used to me being away, or her not like waking up and I'm not there. She's not used to that. So over time, because Olivia works so much, she is used to me always being there, which I don't know is healthy. So we need to like start going back on, and now that COVID is kind of like leveling out, you know, Olivia and I will start back on like our anniversary trips where Nala will not be with us. But the kicker is, when we go on our anniversary trips, is places we've never been, and we want to take Nala so she can experience them. So that's the kicker of it all. I love having my kid with me. Like, if I could take her everywhere with me, I would. But it is healthy for parents to have that separation, and so that is why we put her in daycare, to have socialization, to get a break for ourselves. Like, it's just a separation, and daycare has been the best thing. But it comes with cooking meals, prepping for them, prepping for stuff the next day, finances, as far as like, people don't tell you, kids grow so freaking fast, and every time you turn around, you are having to buy this and this and that and that and that and that and that, and you have to change their school clothes and their cubbies, and then the seasons change, and then you got to get cold weather stuff, and then you got to go back to hot weather, and then they need shoes because they're growing. It's just, they need diapers, wipes, formula. Then when they start getting older, then they eat like crazy. Like Nala, y'all, she eats so freaking much. Like, we're about to start back heavily using our Sam's membership and buying in bulk, because she, like, string cheese, y'all, string cheese and Danimals right now, she will drink like 4 or 5 of the Danimals things in one sitting, and like string cheese if we allowed her. Like, she just eats and eats and eats and eats and eats. Every time you want to turn around, she want a snack, this, that, and the third. It's just a lot. So they always eating. Then, you know, pull-ups, and then eventually you got to go to panties, but you got to keep buying panties because they're potty training. Then you got to change their room from the crib to the toddler bed, then the toddler bed to the big girl or boy bed. And it's just like a constant money thing. And then depending on the type of quality of life that you want them to have, are they traveling, are they doing extracurricular activities? So she does one extracurricular activity, but it's they come to her school to do it. I won't say the name of it because then you can find out where she goes to school. But we are about to put her, probably at the top of the year, put her in dance classes, and she has voices. She wants to do like soccer. So are they doing that kind of stuff? Like, oh, and then she also does swimming, so she's in swim school to learn how to swim. Swim school is $160 a month. Her extracurricular activity at school is $45. I think her dance classes that we're gonna take her to are like $50 a month, and then or maybe it's $50 a week. I don't know. I have to go back and look. And then soccer, I don't even know how much that costs. So it's just like, and then are you traveling? Are you traveling like once a month, once a week, once a year? Like, what type of travel? The past 2 years we've taken Nala to Disney when she turned 1 and when she turned 2. And Disney is not cheap. Disney is very expensive. But thankfully, if you're under 3, you don't have to pay. So that is why we took her. And 2, like, why wait? I don't understand when people be like, I'm gonna wait till they like 5 years old. Unfortunately, in today's society, you don't know if you or your kid are gonna live till they're 5. So we are of the mindset of like, we're just gonna do it now. We're gonna live in the moment. We're gonna just like live now, because we don't know what will happen in umpteen years. You know, you just never know. Life is crazy. And so it is more than that. And a lot of people I have seen, especially like my age, but a lot of people just don't realize like simple things, like if you get invited to go to like the beach for the weekend, You can't just be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be there, because then you have to be like, okay, I'm gonna let you know, because then with a kid, you have to like get a daycare or a babysitter or a caretaker for them, like make sure that everything with the kid is good, and then your money and stuff like that. If you are a single parent or your partner may be working a night shift, if you get hungry and you still go to McDonald's at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can't do that. Or if you're gonna have to wake your kid up, and if they gotta go to school the next day, they're gonna be cranky, so you just can't go. So you either gonna miss out on McDonald's and be hungry, or your craving's not gonna be satisfied. You know, like, you just can't get up and do whatever you want to do necessarily. You can to some degree if they are taken care of, but like working all types of hours of the night, or like on call and things like that, because your kid has to have levels of stability. And so if you're just used to like working at a hospital and you're just like an on-call nurse, and then they call you at 3 a.m. and you going in, like, your priority shifts. Like, instead of working, like, you're working, you're working 12 jobs and you get into the bag. When you have a kid, you then have to decide, like, what job pays the most, what job will I be able to be secure in to provide for my kid, but I'm still there for my kid. So I just wanted to put that out there about, there are so many things that go into play of being a parent, and I see it all over. People message me like, y'all are such great parents, and while we appreciate that, it takes a lot of work. Like, even like getting myself up and like feeling back to my normal self, I still don't feel like myself, because I'm learning to love my body now, but for a long time I hated my postpartum body, and like I just hated it. Like, keeping yourself afloat is a lot, because like your kid needs all your attention. So like as they get older, then you can sit them down and like get ready and stuff, but like once they're in that like crawling, walking new stage, it's very hard to keep yourself like doing your makeup in the mornings and like dressing in your cute little outfits. And like, as a mom, you are on a schedule. Like, okay, we got an hour to be out the door, 30 minutes is going to getting my kid ready, and 30 minutes is to me. So instead of you taking an hour, which I know plenty of my sister takes hours to do her makeup, and I've told her, like, and she'd be like, why are you just doing like basic makeup? Girl, I'm on a time schedule. Well, like, we gotta be places, you know. So like, I don't have time to do a smoky eye look, and I got time to put a little bit of concealer, some mascara, and then I gotta go, you know what I mean? So for a while, you have to put yourself not always at the forefront, and you have to learn to create those pockets for yourself. And so being an entrepreneur, my time for myself is like when I do food reviews and I shoot all my content and all of that, is when she's at school. Like right now, she's at school, so I'm able to film my content, do my reels, and bust out so much work, because in the mornings I'm getting her ready for school, I'm taking her to school. From the time I drop her off at school until the time I pick her up, that is my work day. When I pick her up from school, it's all about her. Afternoon, you know, instruction time, eating, spending time playing together, loving on each other. Once she goes to bed, then I will do my work. But until then, when I'm with her, you know. Unless like we're out at an event and I'm shooting content for y'all, I'm not like doing work, you know what I mean? So there's just so many factors to think about, and I think that if we are being honest in this world, some people, and I'm just gonna be very real, there are some people that should not be parents because they are not fit, and you have to be like mentally in a, I think even healing. Like, I, as y'all know, have had a toxic relationship with my father, and healing a lot. Like, I suggest healing as much as possible from like childhood and past traumas before you have kids, because it can be passed down to them and their generations and things like that. Any type of hurt you have with your parents, like, it just is, it runs deep. And I definitely suggest like doing trauma shadow work and trauma work and therapy before you have a kid, if you can and you can afford it. and just like getting your emotions in check, because depending upon your kid, every kid is not the same. And I see so many people say like, oh my gosh, like I wish I had a kid like Nala, and I bet you do. But everybody, like, there's nobody else like Nala. Every kid is different. So just because like I had the like creme de la creme, best of the best, like I had maybe a week of morning sickness, but I never threw up. I would just always like have the gag reflex, and I would take my little gingers like things, and I was fine. Other than that, I had like the best pregnancy ever. I love being pregnant, and I loved being pregnant. I loved it. I had the best delivery and birth. My postpartum recovery was fine. Obviously I just didn't lose my weight, but like I had the best pregnancy, birthing experience, and child. Like, you know, those people are like, oh my gosh, I haven't had sleep in like days, and like I'm just deprived. And I honestly can't say I know that feeling. Like when mom said that, I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot relate. Like I don't know that. Nala didn't put us through that. She didn't have any health challenges. The only thing, like her ears, she might have to have PE tubes depending upon if she gets another ear infection, but she doesn't have she might have sinus issues, but not anything that's like an issue. Like she had no asthma, no allergies, no sinus, no, she has had a clean bill of health other than her ear infection in this right ear. But she gets that from me because I had to have 3 sets of PE tubes, so I know where that comes from. But I mean, she's been literally a great child. Obviously, other than her behavior right now of testing limits and listening what she wants and expressing her emotions, she's the best kid. I'm not even saying that because she's my kid. Like, she is the best kid ever. Like, we got so blessed. I'm not joking. Like, I mean that. But just because we got that with Nala doesn't mean our second baby will be like that. It doesn't mean that your baby will be like that. I know people that have gotten pregnant and had a baby, and they told me like, girl, this is not what I thought it was. Their baby got colic and asthma and this and the third and eczema and blah and blah and blah and blah and blah. And I'm like, I'm sorry, girl, like I can't relate. Like, people have talked about postpartum really bad, and like I just didn't know motherhood was this big of a change and this and the third and blah blah blah. Yes, it is a lot, but I'm here to keep it real with y'all, because as much as having a baby is the best blessing and she has saved our lives and brought so much joy, it is an adjustment, a huge adjustment to your lifestyle. It's complete. I wouldn't have it any other way though. That's just me being very honest. I love, like I said, I think I was born to be her mom. Like, literally, that is my best friend. Like, I'm not lying. Other than Olivia, that is my best friend. She a real, period. But we be singing that together too. But it's just being real. I think more people need to start being real and honest about the challenges of parenthood, motherhood, postpartum, and like parenthood is hard out here. So when I see people online talking about people parenting, I'm like, people are just doing the best that they can with the best that they know how. I'm not judging. If you beat, spank, whoop your kids, that's on you. We just choose to not do that. We choose different rules. We choose for her to have a life of luxury. Like, y'all, Nala be like, she is so blessed. Like, she really is. Like, she's just the coolest kid. She has the best of the best things. She is very bougie, and that's just what it is. But that's what we choose. And so there are sacrifices that have to be made in order to have your child have a luxurious life. But even if not, every kid is a lifestyle adjustment. You never know what you're going to get with your child. So don't base having children off somebody else's child to have your own, because everybody's different, and you are going to get yourself in a situation where you might be in over your head. So I just wanted to be honest and real with y'all and put things into perspective for those new parents that are coming up to being new parents, or that are thinking about having kids. And, you know, enjoy the time you are not. You don't get sleep back. Like, even, it'd be so funny, like this morning, y'all, So Olivia, was her turn to take Nala to school by herself, right? And Olivia be like, oh, you're gonna get to sleep in. But you hear Nala on the camera because she is used to me getting her ready at 6 a.m. Mommy, 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 mommy. So I have to get up even though I'm supposed to be sleeping in. Then she gets me up. By the time I'm up, it's no going back to sleep for me. She wants to like play. Like this morning was the only time, it was the first time I asked her, I said, no, if I come up there, is it okay if I go and lay in your bed? And she said yes, but she just wanted my presence there. And there's a few times where she came and she gave me like hugs and kisses and stuff, and I kind of went in and out of sleep. And then when she left, I was already up, so I didn't go back to sleep. So your sleep is forever interrupted for a while. Like those early mornings, like my sister, I always laugh and we joke. When she has kids, I just can't wait to see it, because she is not a morning person. Like she's the type on an off day, she's getting up at like 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, girl, she be struggling. When Nala goes in there, she's like, Tay-Tay, Tay-Tay, Tay-Tay. My sister be struggling because she be like, it's so early. That's what kids have you up real early. Like the other morning, Nala woke up at 5:30 because she said she wanted to have cuddles with me. Girl, it's 5:30. Like, I'm trying to be asleep. And because she's nighttime potty training, she had to use the bathroom on herself. So I had to completely change all her clothes and her underwear, then put on new clothes and underwear. And then by the time it's like 5:40, and then we came back, and then she told me she didn't want to go in her bed, she wanted to come in my bed. So then she came and laid with me and we had cuddles. And then I'm like, okay, Lana, let's go back to sleep. And she's like, I want to talk. So she just wanted to talk to me, and then she was talking to me about her friends at school and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, it's 5:45 in the morning, girl. I'm ready to go back to sleep. So around 6 o'clock, I was like, all right, Nala, can we go back to sleep for like an hour or two, and then we'll get up and finish this? And she went back to sleep for like an hour and a half. But needless to say, I'm up at 5:30. Like, girl, what? And it's just, you never know. It all because she says she wants cuddles. Then she tells you she'll tell me sometimes, I want to hold your hand. I want to hold hands, best friend. And then she gets you like when she's super sweet and says like her manners and stuff like she's supposed to. It's like, how can you say no? Or when she calls me best friend, or she'll say my love, or she'll say my mommy. It's like, I can't say no at that point, especially when she's being sweet. So it just, parenthood is hard, but it's worth it. For all the parents out there that are doing a good job and being the best parents, like, shout out to y'all. Parenthood is hard. We out here, let's support one another, let's uplift one another, because it is just a whole thing. Like, we just flying by the wind, we just doing the best that we can. And for those parents that are not parents yet, know that it will come natural, but these are things to think about before having kids, because your sleep, your time, nothing is ever about you anymore, as much as you say it. Like, even like I'm thinking, because my birthday is in like 2.5 weeks, I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do for my birthday? So we were thinking about going to LA, right? And I'm like, oh, Nala gotta go. So then like certain stuff, like, because I haven't been to LA since I was a little girl, right? So it's like stuff I wasn't able to do as a kid, because like we were on a layover to Korea, so we went like on the Hollywood tour and stuff, and like we saw Eddie Murphy standing outside of his house, and he came up to the bus and stuff. But like that was all. Oh, we went to Venice Beach as well. That was all we were able to do. And so I'm like, things that I want to do, some of them are not kid friendly, but we don't have nobody to come with us on the trip, so it'll be me, her, and Olivia. So either I gotta do it by myself, but me and Olivia always do everything together, or not at all, because somebody's gotta stay and watch Nala. So you see what I'm saying? Like, even those type of things, like your mind is always like, my child, my child, my child. Even planning out my day, I'm like, okay, I got this, because at this time I gotta go be picking her up from school. You know what I'm saying? So I love y'all out there. I'm just keeping it real. I'm here to keep it real, have real conversations, and not sugarcoat nothing, because I think if we were more honest, the world would be a better place, and we could give each other tips, uplift each other, and life is hard. Like, parenting be kicking my butt sometimes. Like, the other night, me and Olivia were like, today was the day. Today was the day, baby, because Nala tried us the other day, like, just not listening. Like, it was like, we were like, looked at each other like, whoo! It was hard out here in these streets today. But we made it through the day, and she went to bed fine. She went to bed, you know, she slept well. But she's sleeping well, and we looking at the camera like, but we tired. You know what I'm saying? So I love y'all so much, and thank you so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe, and follow me on all of my social media platforms so you can stay tuned and connected for everyday content. But I love y'all so much. Bye.